Incremental routines. So I'm going to react to this video that I kind of appear in his video, by the way, and it's why Supermemo failed and why I'm still using it, from Winston. There are some details in this video that I'm going to skip for a reason that I will cover that in a standalone video, a dedicated video.
So, it's about the clickbaity title. It's about free learning. Yeah, it is about free learning. And let me just start. Yeah, let's just work with the hierarchy here. New content, not just demonstration, but actual usage. So I did ramble a little bit here. Free learning is in some field you can start from anywhere. In some field it is heavily determined by prerequisite knowledge. So why actual usage is important. So I didn't actually write a lot of point here, but what I was thinking when I wrote this is you need inspiration. So maybe instead of so you have something to learn, you need to learn about logic and math, and you just have a very clear-cut curriculum, and you need to learn everything about it. So maybe let's go to my logic here. It's not like you have this very clear article here, maybe formal system, and you need to learn everything about it. Free learning is not always like that, but free learning is like that in some sense, like when you need to learn everything, and in the sense of if you don't learn it, you wouldn't feel comfortable, and if you done learn it, you will feel extremely satisfying. In that sense, it's a good idea, but I guess for most people, or you're just exploring, it is not, you don't exactly have this one particular goal. You have very little goals, and most of the time.
Okay, it's been a while. I listened to 2 minutes. He's moving a lot, but he's not reading this. So let me do it the other way around. So Winston says, Supermemo did not encourage users to create inter-element links in the text in the form of hyperlinks. Instead, to tell users link from form in the brain. Yes. Piotr Wozniak will also say that, hey, all of the linking, all of the information, how it's presented, how it's stored, it's important on your brain, on the user's brain, not in the software. You should not care how it is in the software. So even if it's possible to have inter-element links and all of that, you can link an element to another element, an element to a concept, all of that. But it's not implemented in a good way. It's very crude experience. And then he says, that's simply not the case. Writing down those connections between knowledge is essential for deeper understanding. So he disagrees. Let me first finish. Supermemo did not encourage users to do incremental writing. The description of incremental writing in the manual is very vague. Incremental writing is a method of writing in which ideas are written down and assembled incrementally. Other than that, incremental writing requires nonlinearity. Yeah, meaning it can be nonlinear. Incremental writing adapts to the way of thinking, to your way of thinking. Many great writers and scientists of the past use a variant of incremental writing, using their own systems of notes. Yes, and you can go even some centuries ago. In Supermemo, incremental writing is integral with the creative process and learning itself. In incremental reading, at some degree, you will have to write as well. So at some component, you are doing incremental writing, even though it's not about to produce any writing, article, book, or whatever. Because in incremental reading, you have information and you convert it to knowledge. Incremental writing is to have the knowledge and convert it into information for someone else. But just to get this information to knowledge, this requires some writing to link with what you already know and all of that. Incremental writing is seamless with incremental reading. Yeah, more or less what I said. Nearly all texts at Supermemo Guru, the Piotr Wozniak personal website, have been written in Supermemo itself using incremental writing approach. Yeah, and some are very obvious that they were very apart. That it's a hard read. Some of them you can really know. You can really tell that he haven't read the entire thing in one go because it's a tough read. Incremental reading is essential for learning. Yes. To complement it, incremental writing is a helpful in creative reorganization of knowledge for solid long-term retention and high applicability. And that's it. While incremental reading is analytical and provides new knowledge, incremental writing is a synthetic and helps organize knowledge into neat semantic networks. Yeah. Without incremental, writing helps a lot. Connecting the dots, becoming aware of knowledge holes, and making sense. And all of this, as how he was mentioning, creating links. So the description is, I'm pretty sure if a user, a person who reads that, has never used incremental reading, yet alone Supermemo, you won't get that. There's no way you can understand what he means with this. Another question is, why on earth I don't do incremental writing? Strictly speaking, by Wozniak's definition of incremental writing. Because I don't do it in Supermemo, because of the so many limitations. It's laughable. I'm not going to extend this. I have videos to cover that. So yes, how it's designed Supermemo, it doesn't encourage users to do incremental writing. Compare this to Notion or personal knowledge management, that with the two brackets, you can mention other pages, create links, contextual links. All of this is missing in Supermemo. You have to navigate to the element you want to link, copy their name, their element number, going back to here, to the where you were, so where the link will be, and then do some navigate the menu and do it. And you cannot even know where actually linking. You have to manually check what is being linked. It is painfully basic. Okay, there's another perspective, which I do agree. Even if I don't do incremental writing, I only do incremental reading, it's enough. Just by incrementalism, I will make sense. I will understand things eventually. And I will decide what to remember. And I will be creating the big picture. So, strictly speaking, I do agree with Wozniak's statement that it doesn't need to be linked in the software, but in your brain. That doesn't mean that linking with the software helps linking in the brain, which I also believe. It's like it's the most hardcore version of this. In Supermemo, it's the most hardcore. Still works. I do. Not I do believe. I do know, because I have already done it myself. So I have done anecdotal evidence that works. But it's very hardcore. And sometimes that I rely on search, it would have been nice to quickly do links. Even if those links are temporary in time.
And it could very well happen that you have the option to use it free learning or their learning sessions. I want to make about the he says the links form in their brains, and yeah, in my opinion that's not the case, because writing them down is good for understanding. Supermemo, well, I wrote did not encourage users to do incremental, right? But it sort of did. I don't know. It's just the description in the manual is very vague, and Supermemo is more like a reading and closing oriented, not exactly writing oriented. So
yeah, the flow is possible, but it's not optimized for incremental writing. If I want to make an article, I want to write this article incrementally, I will have so many friction points in Supermemo. For me, it won't be optimal. Sometimes I want extracts that I want to reference. So I don't want to learn them, but I want to reference them. Not possible because I applied done. I no longer have the text. And the formatting, it's super simple. There are many HTML that I cannot use, and just to mention a few.
That is more like a philosophy thing. And I also write my bias here, so I'm more of a humanities learner, and that's more writing dependent, let's say. Yeah, I'm done with that. Okay, free learning can.
Yes, and the last thing, that also depends on the focus. Some domains of knowledge require a lot more linking in order to understand, and some are more applicable, more, let's say, procedural. Could be programming or math related, but also, for instance, learning a choreography, or I don't know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any martial art. You could still use Supermemo and spaced repetition, absolutely. Now, in a much lower component, in a much lower ratio. Yeah, so I know that I had some years that I always say, yeah, I will start writing for sure. I had created my Medium, my Substack, I have my own Wikipedia. I have my own website, by the way, but I don't write as much. And a big component is because of this. In Supermemo, it's meh. It's not a good experience. It's not something I can use for writing. But then if I use a different software, which I also tried, then I don't have the links because are in Supermemo. So it's, yeah, I am in this never-ending position that there's no optimal decision I can make. Then no worries. Something I learned is just start. Incrementally we'll get better in whatever perspective it is. Like when I start creating videos for this channel, they were terrible, and they have become better. The point is that I started. So we'll apply the same philosophy for writing. If you want, follow me on Substack or Medium. I'm not going to paywall my articles. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. See you incrementally.